Hi, what's up, guys? So this week I'm going to show you this interactive page design that we're supposed to do for the Professor Jin class course, and my one is called Clockwork. You can see here is a name. It implicates that this is teaching the young kids, young learners to learn how to read the analog clock time and corresponding to a digital one. So let's first take a look at the teacher's page to see how this website organized and how it works. So the first learning objective is to help young kids to understand, be able to read the clock time quickly. So that's so when I was young kids, I wasn't able to read the clock in several seconds. I had to go through the calculation process, converting the time through the clock visual system, which might be complicated for kids. So having this website doing some trainings to the kids will help them be familiar with the clock system. And the student page is designed. How is it designed? There are mainly four activities on this website. The first one, students are supposed to guess the clock time from the digitals. Second, they can control the hands of hour, minute, and second by typing in numbers. Third, they can switch back and forth between different forms of time. And lastly, they could fasten the time and preserve the past of one day in 1 minute or 1 hour, which might deepen their understanding of how clock works. And the last one, how to use this website and apply it to the teaching activity. So for teachers, they should first create scenarios where students have to figure out the time. Otherwise, they will be late for a class or meeting. They can suppose the students are in such a real-world situation, how to use this website to teach them and to train them be familiar with the clock time. So because this is only their choice, because only the analog clock is at hand. So they can have the students play around with the clock with this website. Then the teachers can ask the students to write down their reflections on how the clock works and what they have learned about the clock. So let's get back to the student page and take a look at the first one. This one, as you can see here, there is a shade on the center of this page. It says, "Can you imagine the clock from the digitals below?" And there's a button here that shows that you can remove the shades. So this is basically asks the student to guess the time, the analog time behind the shade, based on the digital numbers given below, which is the current time here in New York City. So as they are ready, they can click on this button to remove the shade, and then this analog clock will be shown. Then they can know whether they have guessed right. They can get whether they have get the right answer. So the first interactive activity is that here they can type in different numbers to test out the guess about how the positions of the minute hand, the second hand, and the hour hand are positioned on this analog clock through the animation. It's a really cool animation actually. This one, as we click on submit, you can see animation was triggered. Then finally, the minute hand, the second hour hand stop at certain position. Then the learners can, then they can know whether they have guessed the right answer. And then the second interactive activity is that they can choose a form of displaying the current time. Either through the analog or the digital one. So if we click on this digital one, the digital time will be shown. And when they click back at this analog one, the digital time will fade out and the analog time will fade in. So when they are confident, this is for the kids when they are confident to test their ability of reading clock, they could just switch back and forth between the analog time and the digital form to test out their guess about the current time. And last one is this clock showing a day in an hour or a minute. So this time time lapse will give the learners a more vivid example of how the analog time works and as a whole by showing an animation triggered by the learners. So when we first click on this show a day in an hour, you can see here it's moving slowly because it will gonna show a day in an hour. And then we can reset that one. When we can click 2 at the same time to see what will happen. So an alert will show saying that please only select one way of showing the time lapse at the same time. So we unselect the first one and then we'll say it's faster animation because it will show a day in a minute. So this will be really helpful for the kids to be familiar with the clock time and understand how analog clock works. So we can reset that one. So I mean, basically, the sense of controlling the clock with these 3 interactive activities will give the kids the sense. I mean, to look at how the selected time is presented will really be beneficial for them to learn and understand the clock. So then they can submit the learning reflections here. I just type in some dummy words here and then click on this one, or I just press the enter key. So thanks for submitting reflection. Your feedback have been recorded. So close one. So there, the words, the reflection actually was shown here because we don't. I mean, right now we don't have a backend to collect all the user data input. So I just leave it here. So basically, that's my website, the interactive one, teaching the kids to learn, understand, and to be able to use the analog clock and the clock system behind the surface. So thanks for your watching. Please subscribe and I will see you next time.